the scope. It's Quise.
B.
E.
We got a topic today that you want to discuss with y'all again. And follow the socials, Instagram, follow us on Facebook. I'm gonna just leave these off. YouTube as well. We appreciate all the support. Thank everybody. We got a topic today. I don't know if y'all saw Matthew Perry. You know, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Friends
Rest in
actor.
peace. Yes.
He passed away. In his will, it came out that he wrote that any kids that he had post 2009 are not entitled to his will.
That's
or any
crazy.
inheritance in his will.
That's crazy.
Post 2009, he ain't had no kids. When he died, he still ain't had no kids that we know of. Somebody might pop up. But what do y'all feel about that? Because he's not the only one that said that.
Tell me, hold on. You just added context to that. He got no kids?
Yes, currently has no kids.
Then I understand him saying that.
He wrote it before. He didn't know if he was going to have kids when he wrote it. He died 2024. He wrote that in 2009. Like, he ain't know.
Right.
He said, any kids I had posted, so he could have had some, but they were out the will regardless.
But I think, that changes the narrative a little bit, because he might have changed that if he had kids. He might have only did that just to make sure nobody didn't pop up and say they had his baby after he was gone, and he like, yo, I ain't here to dispute that.
It still would have.
Nah, but he said post out and like, what does that mean? Like, he would know if he slept like post out and not. What that mean?
I'm just saying he might be covering. Yeah, he might have been trying to cover his base. I'm not saying that's I think he might have been trying to cover.
But
his
he ain't the
bases.
only one, right? Shaq has said.
Yeah,
Shaq said that. Jackie Chan said that as well.
Yep.
He ain't the only ones either. I think somebody else.
There's a couple of celebrities that said it.
I think Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher said it too.
Okay.
They said any of their kids are not entitled to their inheritance as well.
Okay.
So you see a lot of celebrities doing that, a lot of people
That's
doing
still
that.
crazy.
How do y'all feel about that?
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
For me, it all depends on their relationship
Why?
with their child.
Why?
Because
that's your kid.
If your kid, if you don't have a relationship with your child,
But that's still your
you're not entitled to leave the money with them.
But that's still your kid. Like, why?
But if you don't have no relationship with them,
so who you gonna give it to?
you can give it to a charity.
Why am I giving it to a charity instead of giving it to my kids?
That's not your kid.
Mom, you can't get out from there.
You can give it to a charity. You can give it to any type of organization, another family member. You can give it to your grandkids.
Well, if you give it to your
grandkids,
listen, if you're giving
I was about to ask that too,
right? If you're giving it to your grandkids,
You're basically giving it to. You're still giving it.
It's all what you write down. You give to your lawyer.
See,
they give a certain age.
That I have a problem.
You know
with.
what I mean?
I have a problem with the fact that people are saying I would give it to a charity or give it to something that's not my family. That's my issue with that. Like, why am I going to? If I got this wealth, and I know this wealth can help push my family forward or do whatever the case may be, or help somebody out in my family and give them a better opportunity in life, why am I just going to let this fall by the wayside and give this to a charity? I'm not doing
like I said, it all depends. Your child could be on drugs.
Then
you know what I mean?
Then you
it
put
could just be a bad seed that's not good with money.
Stipulations.
Then they're not good with money.
Put stipulations or leave it to it. Like, there have been plenty of times I think people have left the money because they knew their kid might blow the money. They left it to an accountant where they allowed them to get an allowance out of that money every year.
If that's what you choose to do, but I'm just saying we don't know people's reasons on why.
I don't agree with
you know what I mean. If it's no reason, you just want to be that way, then I don't agree with that. But if you have reasons, then
I don't agree with no reason.
Who am I to argue?
I don't agree with no reason that takes money away from your family. I'm sorry, I just don't agree. I don't agree with no reason that does that.
Well, if y'all watch Power, Ghost put in there that Tariq had straight A's. He had to do well in school.
Yeah,
research before he get that trust fund.
If you do, right? So what would happen if he didn't get the money? I mean, if he didn't do those stipulations, where the money
there, he ain't gonna get it.
So where the money going? That's what I'm asking. But did they say where the money going?
Trust.
Huh? So if he doesn't do those stipulations and stays in the trust, and it goes back to the state, then his son loses that. Then his whole generation after him loses that money. That's my issue with that.
But they're not responsible. They're gonna lose the money anyway. So what's the difference?
But you're not here to determine that. You can't determine that now. You don't know if they straighten themselves out or they got.
But you put that in the stipulation.
All right, so you taking it for if the kid is like bad or not doing anything right. What about a situation where Matthew Perry said any kids he had post 2009? So the kid ain't even born yet.
I don't understand that.
Say if you have a kid in 2015 and the kid, would he love the kid and everything? Like maybe he would have reworked and changed.
Right, you have to go back and change.
But the fact that at that point
he felt like before he could change it.
Yeah, but so at that point he felt like no matter what kid he had at that point that they're not in time. Maybe because he felt like at that point his career was it was done, like his wealth and what he built was solidified 2009. So everything he built up to that point, everything after that,
maybe.
We
don't know his reason for it.
We don't know his reason. but
I don't agree.
He ain't the only one that said. Shaq has said.
I don't agree with that. I mean,
Shaq said, "I work hard for this money. You didn't do it. I did.
You didn't do nothing for it. I don't agree with that.
You don't get it.
I understand his reason because you want to try to make your kid appreciate the
What they
wealth,
got.
appreciate
Right,
money, appreciate
right,
what you got.
understand that,
I
My
understand
money is
that.
my money.
But
Right.
that doesn't deal with him not leaving it in the will, though.
That's what I'm saying. If you
That's something different.
But you're saying you're not leaving your kid no money. That means when your will comes, you're not leaving them no money.
Yeah, right. That's what we're talking about.
Right, but that's my issue with that. Like, if you're going to put stipulation because you feel like your kid may not appreciate this or may run through it, there are other ways you can leave your family money and still be a little bit more safer. At the end of the day, you ain't here to figure out what happens anyway. You're gone.
Black people can't afford to do that. We can't afford to do that.
What? Do what?
Our community can't afford to just be holding the wealth and not passing it down.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
I agree
We got
with
no
that.
choice. Right.
got it.
We are too much behind. We are
But
too
I'm
much
saying,
fighting.
if they doing it, they have some. It's got to be a reason on why they're doing. Just don't do it just to
If you
do
want
it. Is what I'm
but
saying.
but like you,
That's all I'm saying.
But your reason could be a legitimate reason somebody picked it. Like, I don't have a relationship with this kid,
Right.
or I'm not, or this kid
Right.
might have been a problem child,
Or the journey.
Right. You have that's a legitimate reason for somebody to do, but I still don't agree with that because I'm looking like, where you gonna take this money? You gonna give it away? You gonna let somebody else have it? You gonna ruin the
put
rest
it
of
in
your
the-
generation,
You don't
your
know what
family.
the charity's doing with your
Right,
money.
right. You don't know
You
what
don't
they're
know,
doing.
right. You don't.
Yeah, you don't know what
Right,
nobody
so
doing.
if I'm gonna let my
Yeah.
money get blown by the wayside, I'm gonna let my family blow by the wayside.
You
before
want
I
them
let
to just
it
blow?
change.
All right, dude.
Let them do. I'm not here. What control do I got
All right,
over?
let me
Just
let-
make sure you
all
put my
let me-
name
Let
in.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. It's beauty in the struggle.
Always.
Right? All this-
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm not saying all of them, but the ones that weren't inherited in their situation and got passed down money, there was a dark road for them to get to that point.
Absolutely.
Sleeping in your cars.
Absolutely, yes.
Living on the streets.
Yes. Mhm. I agree with that.
So they remember that part.
It's my
They don't
job
want their kid
to
to
not.
skip steps and already be at that point that they ended at today.
Then-
So they like, look,
Then you lock it up like you put stipulations in the situation to say, listen, this is what you got to grind
like you got to start a
do.
business or something.
Huh?
Before you get
Right.
this, you got to start a
Right,
business.
I'm saying you
But
got to
like-
get them something where they got to grind for it to where the point to where you like, all right, this you want me to leave this money to you?
Yeah, you
gotta
gotta
do X,
graduate
Y, Z.
college,
Right, you
blah,
got to do
blah,
X,
blah.
Y, Z, and understand the walk you got to take to get the money. I'm not going to just drop it in your lap. I can understand that, but I'm just
Right, I can understand that too.
I just have an issue with people who like, nah, I'm not giving my kids diddly squat. They got to earn their own wealth. I have an issue with that because I'm like, what? Because Jackie Chan literally said, I'm giving it to charity.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm not giving it to my kids. I'm leaving my money to charity, and I have an issue with that because I'm like, well, I mean, that's his business, that's his family.
Yeah, it's his business.
But if that was me, I'm like, no.
Well, I said he could have been brought up that way.
He probably that's their culture.
That's their culture. Could have been his culture, right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's his situation. But I'm saying for me, I can't agree with that because I'm looking at the situation of where if I'm going to let my money get blown or whatever issues I have with my kids using my money, I'm gonna let a stranger do it. I'm gonna let a charity do it. Like, that makes no sense to me. That doesn't. Like, if you're going to let your money go, at least give your family an opportunity to benefit from that, regardless of what it is. And then what happens, happens. You ain't here to do it. My issue is if you ain't here to guide your kids about how to handle that money, then you can't be mad what they do with it when you're gone. Plain and simple.
just put somebody over the kid to watch how they spend it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put somebody over the kid, and they control how the kid spend it.
Right.
You gotta make, like,
if you want your kid to earn
Yeah.
it and know how to get themselves together, then just then you like, all right, my brother, I'm gonna leave my money to my brother. Look, make sure my son do X, Y, Z. If he does X, Y, Z, give him that money. Like, I want you, like, you're in charge of making sure how he handles this money. Don't let him just take it and blow it. Like, guide him with the money, like as if I was here. That I'll leave it to you for you to handle.
Yeah.
You got it. Now, great. Here's the problem with that. I can leave it to my brother. I'm like, man, I don't care about your kid. I'm about to do this myself. So that's my point. Like, you really are in a situation in a rut where you really don't have no control once you're here.
Right.
You don't. So if I'm gonna worry about what happened to my money, I'm at least give my family the opportunity to use it. Plain and simple. That's done deal. And let them rock out with it. The people who I want to have the opportunity to be successful, I'm just gonna leave it to them and just and what they do for this is their decision. It's their fault.
You also gotta look at it too. Like, if you were in a situation where, you gotta look at both sides. If you don't give them the money, you do give them the money. So if you say you got a kid and they struggling because they didn't have whatever, you struggled to get to your point too as well.
Right.
But you also encounter people along the way that were able to help you get to your position.
Okay.
Regardless of how it happened, your kid ain't. Who know your kid will be as fortunate to run into those same people.
Right.
Right. So you can't say I got out the struggle. They need to figure their way out of it too.
Right.
Knowing that your struggle is unique. Like,
Everybody's struggle is unique.
You
Right.
probably encounter certain things that was available to you that wasn't to them.
Right.
Or whatever. Right. Like
Right.
You know, if somebody used a certain thing that wasn't there, whatever, to get out of it, that's not there now, right? Like,
your opportunity sometimes.
Like pensions are a thing, kind of thing of the past. Like jobs don't do that no more, right?
Right.
There's people now living off their pension,
Right.
Right. So you know your kid ain't got some long term like that.
He got them options now, right?
No, I'm saying certain things that are there that ain't there no more.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from both ways. If you decide not to give your kid that situation, and be like, oh, it's your fault, or figure it out. I had to figure it out. Like there's other ways to teach them lessons without.
But the problem
making
is
it like that, like,
but just to counteract
just
your
put
point,
those stipulations,
right? You can put some. That's what I'm saying. 'Cause the
That's
point
what
is,
it comes down to.
but the point is, you're not here no more.
right? You saying like it don't matter? Why
he said he don't care what happened with the money because he ain't here.
He said, "Why you so upset of other people living off of what you built if you ain't here? Like why do you care so much?
That's my issue. Like because you're not here, and if I'm not here to guide you through that, then I can't be concerned with what you do with it. All I can do is put the stipulations in to try to help you get a better situation out of it, and then what happens. I can't control that.
But I want y'all to live your best life.
I always want you to live your best life.
And I'm saying though, like if I got enough to. And and I pass away, and I got enough to help the whole family go on vacations, not work, do other things, and build land and all.
But at the same time, you will just in your own personal experience, you will want that
them to do the right thing,
right? To continue, not just get blown, and then now all of a sudden my family's back to poverty.
As I said, build land, like stuff that's attainable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Acquire land,
but I'm saying,
build houses from scratch, like that. We all like, yeah.
Right,
like,
that's what you do that with the idea of thinking. All right, listen, son, or listen, daughter, y'all want this money?
Yeah.
Start a business the way your kids. My grandkids will be able to continue this legacy on to where we don't go back to where I just grinding this out of. We stay leveled, or we keep progressing forward, and just leave it falling by the wayside. Of that if you're concerned with the fact of leaving your money without no stipulations, just leave with stipulations.
But all I know, this is a conversation. Not for me, but that's a conversation for people who got money. I ain't got nothing to leave.
Well, you got Matthew Perry's is different, right? Compared to everybody else, right? Because he said kids post 2009. His career was already cemented at that point.
Right.
He already got the wealth at that point.
Right.
It's different than somebody that's in it, building the wealth while the kid is there and watching the kid watching them. Right.
Saying
it's totally two different situations.
I still disagree with it. I don't care whether you.
No, I'm saying those two different situations, right? So,
yeah, I mean, they probably more.
Matthew Perry joint's a little bit, bit different compared to somebody who's,
but like again, we keep bringing up the other two celebrities that said that some of their kids was there to watch, to be there with them.
Different,
but
situation.
See, even whether you're here or not, say for instance, I'm 2024. I had you in 2023. Am I going to be like, all right, just because I just had you, you wasn't here to help me build money?
That's why I brought up that point, because sometimes indirectly your kids help you get to that point. Whether by bringing joy into your life, keeping your mental health good, your mental space good, making you smile, which is, being an entrepreneur is tough. Like, you have a lot of down days. Like,
your kids help you out.
Kept you mentally sane.
Them, right? You see them.
You owe that to them.
Right. There's no money value on that happiness right there, but they helped you get to that point indirectly without putting in the groundwork.
Right. But
that should be acknowledged.
But then they become teenagers.
Yeah, well, stuff happens. Yeah, you're right, but stuff happens. You're 100% right, but stuff happens. Like that's the cycle of life. That's one of the steps of life. Like unfortunately, we got to deal with these freaking teenagers at times.
What's wrong with giving them a leg up and saying this is all you'll get? I'm gonna give you $20,000. You could decide what you want to do today. You could get a car. That's my point. That's all I'm ever giving you.
But that's my point. That's
what's wrong with that?
I have no issue with that. I don't have an issue. I think some people, more generations, more families should do that.
We agree. We need somebody that.
That you guys want to argue the other point?
Like, not arguing, because we kind of make sense of at least a little bit of what they're saying.
But hopefully you guiding them. You're guiding them and trying to set them up while they're alive and you're alive. You know what I mean?
Right,
so when something happens, they're in a good space.
Right. That's the point. What I mean? But just say, it's like I said. You 2024. You had a kid 2023. You passed away 24. So the kid ain't barely been a year. You're not here to.
Well, you should already leave it to him if it's nobody else.
That's the point. He said, say for instance, like his situation. He had died 2024. He died. Say he had a kid. Literally,
pick a different year, bro. We had 2023.
I know, 23. Whatever. 23, 22. Whatever.
I'm just saying.
But he died.
That should be day one. You know what I mean? You changing your will.
As soon as the kid is born.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. But he say he had time to do it.
I just do it. But look, man, I grew up in this journey. I don't want to teach you bad habits. I don't want you to get comfortable.
Okay.
And once you feel comfortable, it changes the way you move.
Always.
Throughout your whole life. If you know you got a stack of money coming in, you know there's some inheritance and all this stuff laid out there for you.
Yes.
it changes your motivation and how you move through your
You're
life.
just waiting.
It does.
Right, you're just waiting.
So
I want to start good habits, or I want you to work your way up to this position, because I feel like for you to get the most out of life, you gonna need these core values.
I agree.
And if I give you all this, I'm potentially robbing you of these core values.
Right.
If I give
I
it
don't
to
want you to be thinking life is always sunny and great all the time because I gave you all this.
But okay.
And so that's
But
why you
here's
still
the-
make them everything they want.
Stipulations.
They got it like you want
Stipulations.
you want me to buy you this? Well, you gotta do this.
Or are you aware
or
that I got
and
this though? Are you aware? I don't want you to be aware that you should want to do this for your own
It
future.
depends on how you live in.
What
You
you
live in a
mean?
mansion, they
You should
already
want
know.
to get A's and graduate college for your own future. I don't want you to do it because I gave you a stipulation.
But you should. But if you're not here to guide that, then what choice you got? That's the problem with
Everybody else should be whoever your guardian
But
is.
that's
That's our past should help you guide that.
But
you
you're
gotta
leave-
know.
but you're
Whether you have
leaving
money or not, it doesn't matter, because what do we do? Be like, oh, you want me to buy you this toy? Go take the trash out. You want me to buy you this? Go do the dishes.
Right, that's the ground.
Whether it's money
That's the
or
groundwork.
anything.
But if I know I
what
got a million sitting there waiting for me,
but
bro, you're not gonna get me to do anything.
But arguing to his point, what he's saying is, you can lead, but you're trusting somebody else to guide your kid. I'm not doing it.
No, he wants you. He
No,
wants you
that's
to
what you
already
did.
have those values. He wants you to already want it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
You
you
know what I
want
mean?
right, but what I'm saying
Well,
is you're
I don't
not.
have to put stipulations, but we
not
do that
conditions.
anyway.
If I'm all right, say for instance, I passed away and you may be 10 or 11 years old. I passed away at 10, 11 years old. I'm not here to guide you. I'm not here to put those foundations in you anymore.
somebody else has to do it.
So somebody else has to do it. But if
But you should already have those as you from
I'm just using that
birth,
I'm just-
growing up. Him teaching you. By the time you 10, you should want to
But
do
you
your
still-
homework. You should
even-
already want to do your homework because he already put that in you.
At a
And
10-year-old
you should already want A's because he put that in you
a 10-year-old
from day
kid,
one.
A 10-year-old kid.
You supposed from day one when you go to kindergarten.
You
like,
see, you can
come,
put-
they coming
you
home.
can-
You doing homework with them.
You
yeah, I
can
could
put
go outside there.
No, listen what I'm saying.
They
Listen,
made sure that
no,
in.
listen what I'm
Right.
saying. You can put those values in your kid. There are going to be fall offs. There are
Well, that's
absolutely
what everybody. But if you
There's-
put it in early, they're still going to have that.
Right, but say for instance you're not there long enough to put those
I
values
got a
in your
million
kid.
waiting for me, man. I don't want.
Huh?
It's gonna be hard to get me to. It's gonna be hard to get me to be motivated doing it. If I got a million waiting for me.
You got a million waiting for you, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get it. If you do what you gotta do to get it, I can't be mad at you. Like I'm saying, I cannot be mad at you. If you did what I required you to do to get it, then what you do with it after that is none of my business. You did what I required you to get it for, and what I required you to get. And what I required you to get for, I hope somewhere down the line put the values in you that I wanted installed in you.
What's still stopping you from just getting to that point? Say, I got it. All right, give me the money. Life, I'm done.
What am I supposed to? That's what I'm saying. You're asking me to control something I can't control. I can't control that at this point. All I can do is give you the opportunity to do better. That's it. Now, whether you choose to do better, that is your decision. All I can do is give you them opportunities to be better and do better.
But it's also like take it from the basketball perspective, right?
Okay.
You got these dudes who grind their whole life, they end up getting to the league to get the money. They get it, and then they stop caring. They stop trying. They don't have the same dedication. They're now symptom to all the other bad things
They fell victim to the lifestyle.
The women, everything is now, and now you see them 5, 6, 7, 8 baby moms. Like they just a downward spiral, right? Because they got to the apex, they got what they rewarded from it, and now they were done.
But a lot of times you dudes that do, they ain't got no guidance. That's my point. They ain't got no guidance. They ain't got nobody to guide them and show them a different route. They just doing what they know.
Some of them don't listen though. They get it, don't listen.
But if you don't listen, then what else you gonna do? That's what I'm saying. What else can you do?
But they don't listen. Sometimes people don't listen to people that's not as wealthy as them.
Huh?
That are not in their position. They don't want to listen. Like
But even if I got somebody that's wealthy as you have people who are wealthy as them who might be on the same echelon as them. Be like, yo, kid, this is not how you should be moving. But then plenty of players have said that about players who when they came in the league, took them under their wing and said, yo, this
but
is how
they ain't
you should
making as much
move.
money as they making now. The kids now making more.
No. But let's say, but if you're a rookie and you come in and you playing with somebody that's the superstar on the team or that's a veteran that's making more money than you because you're a rookie, he's like, yo, young boy, this is how you should be moving. I'm gonna try to give you how to move. Now I'm gonna give you the opportunity to do better. Again, whether you choose to do it is a whole different avenue than me not giving you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, she wrote down. When they get old, I mean, you live to be 80 and your child is in their 30s or 40s then.
What about it?
They already, by then you should already see how they're stable their life, so you by
Oh,
then
yeah,
should
yeah,
know.
they older,
See what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
They're talking about their kids, but the kids are not going to stay kids. And you're going to be 70 or 80 years old, your kid could be in their 30s, 40s, by then you should see what type of life, or how stable, what they're doing.
I agree.
So you talking about as adults?
Yeah,
Right,
when
okay.
your kid become an adult.
Gotcha.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you get old and if
Right.
you can see,
Based on your
you
kid
can see
being
their
young.
values and
Right.
you see what the kids
They're not
doing.
gonna live to the kids, but the kids are not going to stay kids.
Kids
the
are right.
supposed to grow up, hopefully to be adults. So what are you saying?
Right. People grow.
And they change.
Right, and they change. Life circumstances and things can change people. You're not going to be here to see if your kid changed from the knuckleheaded little kid that you left behind.
But you see how spoiled brat they was because they knew that you had money.
But everybody...
Look at them shows.
And a lot of them stay that way.
Yeah,
hold on.
How did they become a spoiled brat?
Because you gave them married, they
That's
knew you had money.
Well, that's your fault.
But they seen that you had money. When you look at them shows, Sweet 16 or whatever, and these kids had $100,000 parties for their Sweet 16. But you hearing they dialogue of that, my parents got money, I'm cool. Like
that's your fault. So why are you gonna penalize your kid for the stuff that you?
Why I'm gonna downgrade my life to help because you born and I don't want you to. I'm not downgrading my life. Yeah, you gonna see all this.
But like he said, you put the values in your child as a kid. Because
I work for it. I work for these values. I work for it.
Regardless of what you work for.
Some of the problems that, like, as parents.
So I'm gonna drop a hoopty because I don't want you to think that we got money.
Some of the problems we did as parents, I'm like, this not when we deal with money, is that we want our kids
to have better than what we had. We always do. Every parent wants that.
But we don't make them work for it.
Huh?
We give it to them instead of making them work for it.
I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is, even with that, we don't give them, like you said, we don't make them work for the situation.
Right. That's the problem.
Why am I going to penalize my kid for what I instilled in them? I did that. I didn't make them work for
How
them.
you avoid it though? If you rich, all right, say because you got kids, you know.
Right.
If you rich and you got Benzes and whatever, because you work for it, you deserve to buy yourself nice things.
Right.
How you going to install in them that this ain't what it comes with? This is what they have. How you going to where you going to hide it? You can't hide it. You live in a mansion. Like how you going to hide it?
You don't hide it. That's what I'm saying. Why are you trying to hide it? Why am I trying to hide it?
The kid sees it and knows that this is a part of their lifestyle because they see you with it. They live with you. So they automatically gonna have that type of I'm gonna get this. This is my life. Like
they don't.
Why wouldn't they? They see it every day. They wake up. You can
have that reality of saying, well, my dad is rich, so I'm eventually gonna be rich like my dad. But here's the problem with that.
That's the reality.
No, that's the reality. You're right. So here's the thing about that. As a parent, as my child's father or whatever the case may be, when you have that situation, you are teaching your kid, regardless of what they're thinking, this is X, Y, A, B, C. And if you see your kid is still not picking up, then that's when you're like, all right, this is a stipulation that you got to do to get this money. I'm not just leaving it to you just to fall by the wayside. You want this money, I'm letting you know it's here, but this is what you got to do to get it. If you then once you make those requirements and you do that, I can't. What am I going to be saying? Well, you might have just did it just to get the money. No, you did what I asked you or required for you to do that. After you cross that echelon, then what you do if it is a rap.
But let's be honest. Everybody that grew up in Philly, not everybody grew up in Philly, in the street, you're a product of your environment.
Always.
Right. So this is my environment. I'm a product of everything I see in my. It's hard to get a kid. Kids are installed their values when they're young, so they see all this as the reality when they're young. It's hard for you to be like, yo, you got to get this to get this and all that. They wake up to whatever you give them every day because it's part of their lifestyle.
Okay,
you're not You're right. You're not high. You're not keeping that from them until they get old. No, you're giving that to them now. That's what they used to.
No, you right. You keep saying keeping them. I'm not saying
the only thing you can do,
already installed in them.
Do for a rich kid is say good grades because everything else is getting done.
18 years old, I got all this, and now you trying to tell me now I lose it and you're getting to me again.
But certain states don't allow you to give them that money at 18, 25.
Right, the inheritance, right? Yeah, my job does that. Like, you want inheritance, you got to go.
Right, there's certain laws to it, but if I have the opportunity to do it at 18, and I feel like if I give you marks to do when you hit 18 and you hit them marks, yes, it's a done deal.
There's money for them. Huh? I'm giving them no indication there's money for them.
But no, you don't do that. Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't do that. No, you don't give us a stipulation. But I'm saying what I put in my will. Not what I'm not gonna tell my kids.
I would show them a fake will of that. No, but that shows that this is theirs.
The game plan is what you just said. I'm not gonna go to my kid. Yo, kid, when you die, I left $20 million in my will for you. I never would tell my kid that. I'm not telling nobody that. That's not for nobody to know but me and the lawyer that wrote that will and my wife and she's with me. That's it. Nobody else knows that. So in that avenue, when I die, my kid don't know what they're getting.
Most people know, like you. Most people could find that into someone, right? So let's say your kid find out.
I can't control that. I'm not here.
No.
Oh, you mean
still alive? Like your wife or somebody that your family that you told that's gonna go happen. Your kid find out.
Well, my wife.
Are you gonna write that?
No. If I'm allowed to do that, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, if I'm allowed to do that, absolutely. Yes. If I find that out, and I'm allowed to do it.
Absolutely. You just lost this kid 20 grand because you went over your mouth.
Absolutely. If I'm allowed to do that, absolutely, I'll do that.
Either you gonna leave them the money or you're not gonna leave them money. It's that simple.
Is everybody in favor of not telling the kid?
Yes. Absolutely. I'm not telling family cannot. They don't know.
Stimulations is not good because you say I left you him 20 million, right? Well, I put you in charge with the stimulation.
Did you leave that? I just want to know.
Huh?
Did you leave?
Such a justice day now. Suppose he did all that, but you were in charge of that money. You nobody could stop it. You could lie.
No, you can't.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Now, if you leave it to a lawyer, no,
Then you might as well just give it to the lawyer the stipulations.
He can't prove it. He could go right now. Say you graduated from college, right? You got your diploma and degree. All of a sudden, you made a mistake of laying that diploma down on that couch.
Okay.
He grabs that diploma.
And
That's right. And say, well, he didn't finish school. He ain't got no diploma. Now,
but I can go back and I can go back and get
you got to do all that tying up money.
Yes.
Tying another lawyer.
Yes. You have
to work out to prove that he did.
Yes.
He did to keep him from signing. He gonna keep.
Now you're on this long battle.
People, you gotta realize.
No, that has happened.
Crooks are smarter than smart people.
Huh?
Crooks are smart.
I understand that, but that's
they can find all
but there
the loopholes.
right,
Yeah.
but there are
loopholes of keeping him,
especially with 20 million involved.
Of giving him that money.
But there are
You see families in so many. You just see families in so many battles when it comes to that as well.
Right.
He left it to an uncle.
Yeah, that family though. It's all family though, right?
Right.
Right, but
and it ain't that much money. It could only be 30,000.
By the time they pay the lawyers, everybody ain't nothing left.
but there are barriers and there are stuff in place to prevent that. That's why those situations are
Money destroy families.
No,
man.
money has destroyed money.
Yeah.
That's destroys family.
Yeah.
Forget money.
Give it to him, just leave it to him. Like I'm saying, hopefully that by the time you die, he's 40 years old. By then he should.
I'm not
his
leaving.
You saying just trust it, like
Yeah.
trust it, just
But
trust
Right,
it.
you going, it don't matter.
But you're talking. But you gonna leave 20 million to a 6-year-old kid?
Well,
he can't get it. He can't
You can't get it till he's 21.
He can't get it.
No, say you single. You a single
30.
mother. You a single mother by yourself, and it's just you and your kid because the dad is going whatever, or the dad died, so that's how you got the money in the first place. You are a single mother. Your child is 6 or 8 years old. You die. You're leaving $20 million.
So we can't touch it
Till 21.
But that's the scenarios that we're talking
But you know
about.
we
No,
can't
we
touch it till
not.
he's 30. If he can't touch it till he's 30,
We
no,
saying
I'm
we
not
can't
saying give it to somebody
You
else.
leaving it to them, but they can't get the money till 21.
Then that's stipulation still.
No, they ain't no
not by them. That's
stipulation.
legal. It's legal. That's law.
Yeah, that's not a stipulation.
That's the law.
You talking about getting a business? They gotta do this.
If
And
I
all.
want to do it,
Well, they don't want a business.
huh?
True. Yeah. Wait.
Well, they don't want
Not
a
at
business.
6 years old, but
Or
when they
18
I'm just
turn
saying, when they older.
Well, you just throwing the random stipulation. That's not what
Right,
he's
I'm
saying.
random.
He's
Like,
random.
I'm just
I know, I'm just saying.
You put this. That's a different stipulation because if he died at 6 years old and I'm gonna leave him $6 million, the law said he can't touch that $6 million either until he depends on the state. Until
Some-
he's 18
right, but
or
some-
25.
Yeah,
Right now, hold it. Let me finish. But like you saying, at 16 he just got it all planned out and he got dollars and cents because he's a little genius and he decides that he needs 20,000. Whoever's in charge, I will got to take out their pocket or make some kind of stimulation with
Or believe in their business.
right. That requires another lawyer, court law, and everything else to be able for him to go and take that 20,000 out to use it for that business.
Okay.
Because he can't touch that money until he's 18.
Okay.
Right.
Then you got to go through that to get the
Well,
money.
see, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
tough.
different type of stimulation.
Right, but that's my point.
That could take years.
Huh?
Right.
That could take years.
It could take years.
Now
but
we
it-
making up stipulations like we ain't, you know,
Right,
yeah.
but even with, but the
Not
problem
saying
is,
we're
but
gonna do it.
problem is,
Yeah.
even when you it's like what she said, and
Right.
you discuss it when
Right.
you go to sit down to discuss this with a lawyer. They're going to give you all the scenarios of everything you should write your will for. They're not
Right.
going to let it just fall. They're going to say, well, this could happen. How you going to protect it from this?
Right.
That can happen. How you going to protect it from that?
Right.
They're going to discuss that with you and everything you're
Well, they're
going to
not going
cover.
to ask you about the stimulation about your kid want a business.
Huh?
That's
No, they're not going to ask you. But if I tell that to, because I was just talking to my lawyer about something similar to that with my kid. If you tell your lawyer that they're going to say, all right, what about if this happens? What about if this happens? If you got a good lawyer,
Well, see,
what about
they
this?
don't do that.
But I'm saying you have. That's what I'm saying. But that's the situation. They're going to break
they
down
don't
this.
go-
Right? They're going to.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me bring up a situation. Eazy-E.
Yeah. What about
None of his kids got none of his money.
Money, right.
And the
They left
girl,
it to
the
the
wife
wife.
he was with at the time, they're accusing her of hoarding the money and
Right,
not
she didn't
giving it
give
to
him
his
anything.
kids.
Yep.
So his kids live in the hood, and while she's living off of the
He ain't- but
mansion
you know why?
and everything that
You know why? He ain't
because he
leave a
didn't
will.
have will, right?
Right,
He
he
didn't
ain't
have
leave a
will.
will.
But I'm saying that's how money just destroyed. Like
Yeah, but that's the
but
problem
back
with
to her
will.
point though, you ain't gotta give it. You know what I'm saying? The person can be spiteful.
Right.
No matter who you
But
get to, like that's his actual wife.
Right, but
Didn't
that's
wanna
why
give
you
back
have
to his
but-
kid 'cause
but
they
you know
not-
how many- wait,
they
time
not-
out, time out. You know how many times a wife that the husband didn't leave a will, the wife just took the money and
Yeah,
ran with it.
That's
that,
But,
yeah,
but
then
that's,
with her
what,
kid,
that's
yeah.
what the will is there for. The will is to prevent those type of situations from happening.
But I'm sure she was entitled to something, and then she would have
He
made
might have
sure.
trusted her, thinking that she was
Well,
going to
that's
give
your
it.
fault for trusting her.
Right.
That's my point. Yeah, I agree with that, but that's your fault for trusting
But
her.
wouldn't you rather your kid just get it and have that? Because at the end of the day, whatever, it's your kid. Like if you do, you
It
decide to
depends on how much
mismanage or
money.
do whatever.
It
It's your
depends-
kid.
it depends how
Like
much-
anybody gonna mismanage it and do the worst things with it. I'd rather it be you than
agree, but
anybody
it
else.
Right, that's what you said.
But
So it should be no
right, I
stipulation.
agree with that, but it depends on how much money it is. That's when the stipulation comes in.
Yeah.
Now
20,
saying-
20 grand is different from 20 million.
Well, if I give you a bill. If I'm over, I give you a bill.
So I'm sorry, it depends on what money is.
Yeah.
If I'm leaving you 20 grand, man, you can have when you turn 18, you do what the heck you want with it. But the 20 grand is way different than 20 million or 20
Okay,
million.
yeah, we talking about higher. Yeah, let's
Right,
talk
that's
about
what I'm
it.
saying. So the money is the money was what causes the stipulation.
What the stars, the people you named did, I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? If it's your kid, I'm gonna just leave it to you with no stipulations. With no stipulations. But if they have reasons for why they did what they did, not leaving their kids money, then
We gonna know that.
right. That's what I'm saying. If they have reasons, then I understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, it depends on your relationship or what type, or or the circumstance.
Well, me
But
and
that's all I'm
Lacuna
saying.
as a Kutcher kid, they young. Like I'm pretty sure they have a great relationship with their young kid. That's with them. It's just that
They want
people
their
fall
kids-
in love with the story that they took to get to where they at.
Right.
And they
Yeah,
feel like
you want them to earn it.
Yeah, they fell in love with their struggle story, and they was like, oh nah, I can't just imagine somebody just reaping this and not doing half of what I did, and then they fall into
Well,
that.
that's their decision. I
know,
don't
and-
believe. I said I didn't like it neither. But if I'm saying if you have an issue with leaving your kid money, then put stipulations.
I'm leaving it.
Right, I'm saying if you have an issue with leaving your kid money, if you don't care what the kids do with it, then don't care what your kids do with it.
Yeah, I'm
But I'm
leaving
saying
it.
if you were somebody that has an issue with it, I had an issue with the idea of you not giving it to your family.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it. I don't care what you do, but not giving it to your family. That was my issue from the start with it. Then we started talking about stipulations. Well, people have issues with giving money, then put stipulations on it. Plain and simple. That's it. That's it.
That's what we end on it. So this is Through the Scope. Let us know what y'all think. Follow, like, subscribe. Through the Scope. We out. Peace.